You weren't born to just pay bills and die. You were born to grow, to stretch, to rise above the ordinary. Every single day, life hands you two choices, evolve or remain. The question is not a can you? The question is a will you, because you have greatness within you. Yes, you. You see, it's easy to stay comfortable, but comfort never leads to breakthroughs. Discipline does. Decisions do. The small choices you make every day, they shape your future more than any single moment. Now, I know it's tough. Sometimes life knocks the wind out of you. Sometimes you fail and you fail again. But let me tell you something powerful. Falling is not the end. Falling is how you find your strength. Winners aren't lucky. They're relentless. They show up after everyone else has quit. They keep going when the applause stops, when no one's watching, when they're tired, broken, and uncertain. You don't have to be the smartest, but you do have to be committed. You don't need to know all the answers, but you must refuse to settle for less. See, success is never an accident. It's the direct result of discipline, courage, and a clear purpose. Don't waste time waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. Right now, while your heart beats, while your dream is still alive inside you. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? Will you settle for survival, or will you chase significance? Because at the end of the day, it's not the money, the fame, or the applause that defines you. It's the impact. It's the legacy. Who you become while chasing what you believe in. You were born for purpose, not just existence. You weren't created to simply go through the motions. You weren't meant to just wake up, work, eat, and sleep. There is more to you than the routine you've settled into. There is more to your life than surviving the week and waiting for the weekend. Deep inside you, there's a fire, a calling, a whisper that says, you were made for more, and it won't be silenced by fear. It won't be buried under doubt. Because purpose doesn't fade, it waits. It waits for you to remember who you are. It waits for you to rise above the noise. It waits for the moment you finally decide that you're not going to settle, that you're not going to let another day pass by without doing something that moves you forward. You see, life isn't about avoiding failure. It's about pursuing meaning. It's about stepping into the unknown, not because it's safe, but because it matters. You weren't born to be average. You weren't born to follow the crowd. You were born to lead with your gifts, to shine with your truth, to live with intention and courage. Purpose is not something you find once and forget. It's something you live every single day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one claps for you or notices your efforts. Because purpose isn't about applause, it's about alignment with who you are and why you're here. So wake up with intention, move through your day with clarity, and remind yourself constantly that you were not born by accident. You are not a mistake. You are a message, a mission, and your life is the platform. Live like it. Every day is a decision. Evolve or remain. You wake up with a choice. A choice to stay stuck in the patterns that keep you small, or to rise into the version of yourself that you were always meant to become. It's not a loud choice. It doesn't always scream for your attention, but it's there, in the quiet moments, in how you respond to struggle. In whether you show up or sit back, every single day, life gives you a blank page. What you write on it is up to you. You can stay within the lines of comfort, or you can step into the unknown and grow. Remaining the same may feel safe, but it will never satisfy you. You weren't meant to live in circles. You were meant to expand, to elevate, to become more. Evolving is uncomfortable. It demands effort. It requires you to let go of who you were in order to make space for who you can be. But hear this, growth always gives back more than it asks. The pain of discipline is far lighter than the weight of regret. The work you put in today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. No one evolves by accident. Change is a conscious choice repeated daily. It happens when you decide to get back up after you've fallen, when you push forward even when you're tired, when you choose progress over perfection. Every decision counts. The small ones you think don't matter. They're building something. They're shaping your character. They're forming your future. So ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to live? One designed by choice or one accepted by default? Will you evolve or will you remain? Because you can't have both. You can't grow and stay the same. You can't move forward while holding on to yesterday. You have power. Power in your choices. Power in your habits. Power in how you respond when life gets hard. So decide today, not someday, not later, today. Will you evolve or will you remain? Growth requires discomfort and discipline. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, every time. Real growth doesn't happen when everything feels good. It happens when you're stretched, when you're challenged, when you're forced to face what you've been avoiding. Discomfort is the price of progress. It's what separates those who stay stuck from those who break through. You want to rise. You want to become stronger, wiser, more capable? Then you must be willing to go where it's uncomfortable, because nothing changes in the comfort zone. You aren't. Nothing improves in the place where you're never tested. Discomfort shows you what needs work. It reveals the gaps in your habits. It shines a light on your excuses. And that's a gift, if you're bold enough to face it. But discomfort alone isn't enough. You also need discipline. We also need discipline. The willingness to show up again and again, no matter how you feel. The commitment to do what's right, not what's easy. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's often silent and unseen. But it's the backbone of transformation. You won't always feel motivated. You won't always feel strong. But if you're disciplined, you'll still move forward. Discipline says, I don't need perfect conditions. Discipline says, I'll do it tired. Discipline says, I don't negotiate with excuses. And the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Each time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you grow. Each time you face the discomfort instead of running from it, you expand. Growth is not a moment. It's a lifestyle, a daily decision to lean into resistance, to keep going when others quit, to rise when it's hard and to stay the course when it's lonely. So if you're uncomfortable, good. It means you're in motion. And if you're disciplined, even better. It means you'll keep going, because growth lives on the other side of effort. And effort begins where comfort ends. Failure is not the end. It's part of the journey to strength. We live in a world that fears failure, that hides from it, that treats it like a dead end. But failure isn't final. It's a lesson, a teacher, a necessary stop on the road to growth. No one who ever did something great got there without falling, without stumbling, without making mistakes they had to learn from. Because strength isn't built through comfort. It's built through resistance. And failure brings that resistance front and center. When you fail, you get a chance to see what needs to change. You get clarity. You get humility. You gain perspective, and if you let it, failure will teach you more than success ever could. Failure isn't a sign that you're broken. It's proof that you're in the game. It means you tried. It means you risked something. And that is how champions are made. Not in victory, but in the willingness to try again after defeat. Don't run from failure. Face it. Own it. Because every time you fail, you're being shaped. You are being refined. You're being made stronger, sharper, and more determined. Failure exposes your weaknesses so you can build your strengths. It humbles your ego so you can grow your wisdom. It slows you down just enough to reflect and get better. And better is the goal. Not perfect. Better. You don't become unshakable without shaking. You don't become resilient without falling. The strongest people you know, they didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by refusing to be defined by it. So when you fail, don't stop. Pause. Learn. Because every time you rise, you build something far more valuable than success. You build grit. You build heart. You build a version of yourself that can't be broken by setbacks. Remember, failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're getting closer. Closer to clarity. Closer to mastery. Closer to the strength that only comes from rising again. Winners persist beyond setbacks and applause. They keep going when it's dark, when it's quiet, when no one is clapping for them. Because they're not doing it for the applause. They're doing it for the vision, for the mission, for the fire burning inside them that won't go away. Setbacks don't stop them. They might stumble, but they don't quit. They might fall, but they don't stay down. They use failure as fuel. They use rejection as redirection. Winners understand that success is not a straight path. It's messy. It's painful. It's filled with delays, disappointments, and detours. But that doesn't scare them. It strengthens them because they've learned something powerful. What breaks others builds them. What stops others sharpens them. Winners show up when it's inconvenient, when it's lonely, when it's easier to just stop and let go. They do the work when no one sees it. They stay focused when the spotlight fades. And when applause does come, they don't let it distract them. They don't get comfortable. Because they know applause is temporary, but purpose is permanent. They keep pushing not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. They don't need permission to keep going. They've already decided. They've already committed. Winners aren't made when things go right. They're made when everything goes wrong, and they keep moving anyway. When the world says a no, they whisper back a watch me. When the door closes, they build a new one. They don't chase praise, they chase progress. They don't seek comfort, they seek growth. The journey isn't about being celebrated, it's about being consistent. It's about waking up every day and choosing to keep climbing. Even when the mountain feels endless, even when the results don't show yet, even when they have every excuse to walk away, they stay, they stand, they rise. That's what separates winners from the rest. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's their refusal to stop when things get hard. Their ability to persist beyond setbacks and beyond applause. Success is the result of clarity, courage, and consistency. It doesn't happen by accident. It's not luck. It's not a roll of the dice. It's a formula. Simple, but not easy. It starts with clarity. You have to know what you want. You have to see it before you can chase it. You can't hit a target you haven't defined. Clarity is power. It gives you direction. It keeps you from getting lost in distractions. It helps you say a no to what doesn't align so you can say yes or what moves you forward. But clarity alone isn't enough. You also need courage, the boldness to begin, the strength to keep going when it's scary, the willingness to move even when the outcome is uncertain. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in the face of it. You have to step outside of what's comfortable. You have to take the risk. You have to be willing to fail, to fall, and to get back up. Because the path to success is paved with moments of doubt, and only the courageous keep walking. But even clarity and courage won't carry you all the way. You need one more thing: consistency. That quiet, relentless discipline that shows up every day. Not just when you feel good, not just when it's exciting, but when it's boring, when it's hard, when it feels like nothing is working. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results, between dreams and reality. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things over and over. Tiny steps taken daily lead to massive change over time. Success is not found in sudden leaps. It's built in quiet mornings, focused hours, and repeated efforts. It's earned by those who stay committed long after the motivation fades. Clarity points the way. Courage moves you forward. Consistency keeps you going. If you want success, stop waiting for the stars to align. Get clear, be brave, and show up every single day, no matter what. There is no perfect moment. Act now. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for the fear to fade. Stop waiting for the right time because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is a myth. It's an excuse disguised as patience. It's the lie that convinces you to stay still, to overthink, to delay the life you know you're meant to live. You will never feel fully ready. You will never have every answer. You will never be free from uncertainty. And that's okay. Because action doesn't require perfection. It requires decision. It requires courage. It requires faith that you'll figure it out along the way. You don't grow by waiting. You grow by doing. You grow by trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. Progress doesn't reward the one who waits the longest. It rewards the one who moves first. Every day you delay is a day you lose. A day you could have taken one more step. A day you could have built momentum. A day you could have learned something new. Time doesn't stop. Opportunities don't pause. And your dream, it won't chase you back. You have to act. Not someday, not when it's easy, not when it's guaranteed, but now. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Waiting for perfect has robbed more people of their potential than failure ever has, because failure teaches, waiting only delays. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. You need to be willing to move while it's messy, while it's scary, while you still have doubts. The future belongs to the action takers, to the people who understand that momentum matters more than mastery, that effort matters more than timing. So act now, before you feel ready, before you have every detail, before the voice in your head talks you out of it again. This is your moment. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. True wealth is found in meaning and legacy, not in numbers, not in status, not in how much you earn, but in how much you impact. Possessions lose their shine, but the way you made people feel, that lasts. The lives you touched, the hearts you lifted, that's real wealth. Too many chase riches and forget purpose. They measure success by things they can count, but ignore the things that truly count. Meaning is what gives your life depth. It's waking up with a reason. It's knowing your time matters. It's choosing to live not just for yourself, but for something greater. Meaning is found in service, in love, and love in contribution. It's found in the smile you give a stranger, in the wisdom you pass on, in the hand you reach out to help, and legacy, that's the story you leave behind. Not the trophies on your shelf, but the values you live by. The character you showed when no one was watching. The lessons your life teaches long after you're gone. Legacy is not built in a single act. It's built in thousands of small, intentional moments. How you treat others, how you show up, how you lead, how you forgive, how you grow. True wealth isn't about stacking more. It's about becoming more kind, more generous, more true to who you are. Because when the dust settles, no one remembers the car you drove. They remember how you made them feel. They remember your integrity, your love, your courage. You don't have to be famous to leave a legacy. You just have to be faithful to what matters, to live your truth, to make your days count, not just pass. Meaning gives your wealth direction. Legacy gives your life weight. So ask yourself, are you building a life that just looks good from the outside, or one that feels right from the inside? Because true wealth lives in the hearts you touch, the change you spark, and the legacy that carries your name far beyond your time. You define your life by what you chase and who you become. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are chasing something. A dream, a goal, approval, comfort, success, or maybe simply survival. Whatever you chase shapes you. It forms your habits. It directs your focus. It becomes your purpose or your prison. If you chase validation, your self-worth will always depend on others. If you chase money, you may earn more but feel less. If you chase ease, you might never know your strength. But if you chase growth, you'll evolve. If you chase meaning, you'll feel fulfilled. If you chase purpose, you'll build a life that matters. Your pursuits become your identity. Not because of what you achieve, but because of who you become in the process. Are you becoming someone you respect? Are you growing into the version of yourself that you can be proud of? Because at the end of the day, success is not what you have, it's who you are. You can climb the ladder, but if it's leaning against the wrong wall, you'll still feel empty at the top. You can achieve everything the world celebrates and still feel like something's missing, because life is not just about doing more. It's about becoming more. You become what you focus on. You become what you fight for. You become what you're willing to suffer for. So ask yourself, what are you chasing? And is it worth it? If you're chasing peace, are your habits aligned with that? If you're chasing greatness, are your actions reflecting that hunger? You won't always know where the path leads, but the chase reveals the truth. Not just about the goal, but about your values, your priorities, your character. Your life is your responsibility, and your direction is your decision. You don't find yourself. You create yourself. Through the battles you choose, through the standards you set, through the people you serve. You define your life not by what happens to you, but by what you pursue and who you become along the way. So choose your chase wisely. Don't run after what looks good. Run after what feels right. Don't settle for survival when you were born to grow. Every step you take is shaping your legacy. Every choice is building the story you'll leave behind. Let your journey be driven by purpose. Let your transformation be intentional. And let who you become be the loudest message you ever send to the world.